What is going on, NFL fans? I'm trying out this new Streamlabs program, and I'm going to do a live mock draft with you guys. And let's do the first two rounds. Why not? The Titans are on the board. I got my other laptop out. I'm trying to check and see what this looks like. Oh, it looks pretty damn good. All right, here we are, guys. We're going to do a little live mock draft. Here we are, guys. The Titans are on the board here at number one. Titans fans, let's do it. Let's get this show on the road, guys. For me, from everything I'm hearing around the league, and I appreciate you guys tuning into this little live mock draft. I don't have anyone saying anything other than Cam Ward going to the Titans at number one overall. I think he's an exceptionally talented player. He is definitely the best guy at the quarterback position in this draft class, right? And the Titans need a quarterback so bad. I'm sorry, guys, if you can hear some banging and all that crap in the background. They're putting in a new building right next door to me, and it's a huge pain in the balls. So, here we go, guys. Cam Ward goes number one to the Titans here. I think that's the way to go. I think that's the way it goes here, guys. I think that's the way they roll, and it actually looks pretty nice on the screen, guys. I'm just trying to figure this new Streamlabs program out as we could do live streams that are a little more interesting than just me yapping. All right, now the Browns are on the board here at number two. Guys, let me know in the comments down below if the audio is okay. Send me some messages. Let me know how the audio looks. All right, the Browns are on the board at number two. The way that they're formulating this roster, they brought in Kenny Pickett. They signed Joe Flacco. So to me, they're not going to draft a quarterback at number two. For me, it's between Travis Hunter and Abdul Carter. I really, really do. They can make this defense unbelievably hard to deal with if they drafted Abdul Carter. But they definitely need some help on offense. And from what the Browns are saying, they like Travis Hunter as a wide receiver. They need wide receivers desperately, right? Travis Hunter, he's one of the most unique players I've ever seen come through the draft. Of course, there were a few guys that played both ways a little bit, but he has the potential to be an impact starter two ways, right? So Browns fans, you're getting your guy at number two. It's Travis Hunter, guys. Now, the Giants are on the board. They have a big decision to make. They brought in Russell Wilson. They brought in Jameis Winston. And if you take a look at the way this D-line is set up with Dexter Lawrence and Brian Burns, you can never have too many guys on the D-line. You can really give this team a true identity by bringing in a guy like Abdul Carter. And to me, that makes a ton of sense. I love Abdul Carter. He's extremely talented. 13 sacks, add another 10 hits, 43 hurries, guys. The dude's a freaking monster, man. Absolute monster. I'm going to go Abdul Carter at number three overall. Now, Patriots fans, you're on the board here. I think the Patriots could trade back. You know what I mean? Like a team like the Bears, trade 4 and 10. They'll go back to 10, and the Bears are going to have to put in 39 and maybe some other picks, right? What about like adding 148? You know, it's a really interesting, play here. But just for, this exercise, we'll do 4 for 10, and then they get 39. They probably will have to give up a little more than that, in my opinion. They won't do number one. What's up, Anthony? I'm looking at the chat on a different screen, so bear with me, guys. What's up, Anthony? Welcome to the chat, buddy. We're doing a live NFL mock draft. So right now we have trading 10 for 4, and then what, a second round? No, maybe a third rounder? Yeah. Let's see if they'll do that. 80% chance of doing it. So let's offer this trade. Swap in 4 for 10. And also, we're getting back 39 and a third round pick in 2026. All right, that trade was accepted, right? So we're back to drafting. Let's draft a player with the Bears. The Bears come up to number 4. They're jumping everyone. And I really think that this could be the play here, is drafting Ashton Jeanty at number 4. Coming up, jumping everyone, getting an elite running back for Ben Johnson's offense. We're doing it. Ashton Jeanty goes to the Bears at 4. I'm reading some of your chat here, Anthony. I don't think it's... No, I think that Ben Johnson needs some weapons, right? And remember, he got rid of DeAndre Swift when he was with Detroit. They were like, I don't want him here. He could go somewhere else. Bringing in Jeanty, I think, makes a lot of sense. Now, the Jaguars are on the board at number 5 overall, guys. This seems to be the chalk. But Mason Graham, interior defensive lineman. Yo, Agent Hercules, what's going on? Welcome to the chat, buddy. We're doing a live mock draft, and the Jaguars are taking Mason Graham at number 5. I think I only did a round 1 mock draft, guys. I was going to do a 2-rounder, but I accidentally clicked the 1-rounder, so we're going to just do the first round here today, man. Oh, it's just the middle of the day, man. You know, it's the middle of the day. A lot of people are at work right now, but I just wanted to do it. Oh, I appreciate you, Agent Hercules. Appreciate you, buddy. Now, what do the Raiders do at number 6 now, guys? Jeanty's off the board. I think a wide receiver like Ted McMillan is definitely in play here. You know, I think they could use a number 1X wide receiver, and Ted McMillan could definitely do that. They could go D-line. They could go cornerback. Yeah, and see, I could definitely see that. Definitely see that. Yeah, I think the Raiders could definitely add some offensive line help. They need guard help. And I agree, Will Campbell is a good fit for the Raiders. Well, I think they have Alex Kappa at right guard right now. He's not super good, but I like Will Campbell. He was an excellent tackle, 3-year starter. He's only given up 2 sacks in the last 2 years, almost over 1,000 pass rushing snaps. The dude's super talented, right? But he does only have like 32.5-inch arms, and that's really short for a tackle. So Raiders, we're going to go Will Campbell in round 1 at 6 overall. Now the Jets are on the board, guys, and yeah, Tyler Shough to the Giants definitely makes a lot of sense. Maybe 2nd, 3rd round. Tyler Shough is a little bit older. I do like the quarterback from Syracuse too. He's getting like Kyle McCord. He's got good size. He threw for like almost 5,000 freaking yards this year, man. He was really, really impressive. Kyle McCord from Syracuse. I think he could definitely be in play for the Giants later in the draft. Yeah, but they would have they would have to trade in front of the Broncos, because I do think the Broncos are in play at number 20 for Omarion Hampton, guys. I don't think Hampton goes past 20 with the Broncos. I really think that that's where he goes. I don't think he's going to make it to the 20s, because the Broncos are picking at number 20, so they're going to have to trade down with another team ahead of the Broncos at 20. But you got to have a willing person. So the Cardinals won't trade up. They only have 4 picks, right? So the Cardinals are out. They're not trading up. What's up, Al? Welcome to the chat. Yeah, so that's not a possibility. The Falcons, I don't think they're gonna move up. The Bengals need all the picks they can get. They're not gonna move up. Yeah, I don't know. You think the Falcons have a lot of holes, man, on that roster. So I'm not sure you do that. I mean, you have to give up a lot of picks, right? So maybe the Falcons, maybe, but we'll have to see. So we're at number 7 overall right now, guys. And to me, this seems to make more and more sense is Armand Membou from Missouri, right? You have Olu Fashanu, the left tackle, already set in stone for years to come. Number 1 round pick last year. And then you get Armand Membou on the right side. And then if you got Olu Fashanu and Armand Membou as your bookend tackles, you figure out the interior offensive line. And then it really gives Justin Fields the ability to be protected in this offense, right? He gave up no sacks and 400 pass snaps this year. Armand Membou's the best right tackle in this class. And when it's all said and done, he might just be the best overall tackle in this entire draft class. Armand Membu goes to the Jets at 7 overall, guys. Appreciate y'all tuning in. Guys, I'm closing in on 15,000 subscribers. So if you haven't yet, make sure you hit that like button. It really does help get this out into the universe, and subscribe to the channel. Now, number 8 overall, it's the Panthers. To me, they're going to go defense. That could be a ton of different spots. Jody Barron, Walter Nolan. Their offensive line is actually pretty strong, you know? So if you look at their offensive line looks pretty good. The defensive line, Derek Brown got hurt early last year, so we got to always take that into consideration. But a guy like Walter Nolan being on the board makes a ton of sense for the Carolina Panthers. But a lot of people are mocking Jalen Walker to them. And I don't know, man. I don't see it. I'm not the biggest Jalen Walker guy. I don't see it. So Jahad Campbell makes some sense. I think he's an absolute beast. He could be the general of that defense. You know, they could go safety too. A guy like Malachi Starks. That could be interesting there. But Walter Nolan, Vikings, Bengals, San Francisco getting trended to. He's been jumping up draft boards for sure. But Jalen Walker seems to be like, that's where everyone thinks he's going to go. They think he's going to go to Carolina. But if you dive a little bit deeper into the metrics, coverage grades at 67, just okay, middle of the pack. Missed tackle rate at 12%. I don't love that. Run defender, he's awful, you know? So, I don't know. What the heck do you do, Panthers fans? Let me know in the comments. If you're a Panthers fan, where do you go at number 8? I'm going to go through some of these comments. Yeah, I mean, some of them, so like metrics, just like in baseball, Anthony, like I like to use them as like a backup to my tape study. So I do the tape study and then I look at the metrics, right? And see if they kind of match up. But there's some metrics that aren't deniable, like missed tackle rate is not, it's like an objective thing, right? He missed 12% of all of his tackles. There's no debating that, right? So for me, I want someone who's going to be a little bit, have a higher of a floor. And to me, that's Jahad Campbell. If they're going to go general of the defense, edge, I don't know if you go Jalen Walker here. I mean, you could go Mike Green. He's an absolute beast. I think he could fit any scheme, really. Probably more of a 3-4 linebacker. But, yeah, this is a tough place to pick, man. Yeah, 100%. 100%. Texas A&M is definitely, you know, they rotate a lot of their guys. So you got to take everything with a... I think sacks are one of the most overvalued metrics. Like, I want to see, like, pressure rate, hurry rate, you know, stuff like that. So for me, Dalvin Ezeraku could be in play too for the Carolina Panthers. That makes some sense. But I think I'm going to go Jahad Campbell. I think that makes the most sense for the Panthers. Now, Saints fans, you're on the board at number 9, and I really think that Shedeur Sanders is in play. Yeah, Anthony, I agree with you 100%, bud. It's one of those situations where you got to you got to watch the tape, you check out the metrics, and then like pressure rate and hurries, you know, that makes me think about these players a little bit more. I think the Saints need a quarterback. Derek Carr sucks. I'm not a big Derek Carr fan. I've never been a Derek Carr fan. I'm going to go Shedeur Sanders, number 9 to the Saints. I think that makes a ton of sense for them. Shedeur is I think people are overlooking Shedeur Sanders a little bit, guys. I mean, if you take a look at him, like that accurate adjusted completion percentage, 81.8. Big time throw rate, deep yards 4th, adjusted completion percentage 2nd, screen yards. He can throw it short. He's just a very accurate passer, guys. So I think Shedeur Sanders is a great fit for the Saints at 9 overall. Now, the Patriots traded back and got another second round pick, which I really like. And look, guys, Ted McMillan is still on the board. Ted McMillan makes a lot more sense at number 10 than he does at number 4, and we get that 39th overall pick in the second round. So Tetairoa McMillan goes to the Patriots at number 10. They need a big-bodied X wide receiver, and that makes a ton of sense. Now, San Francisco's on the board. The D-line there is an absolute mess, right? Yeah, I love Matthew Golden too, man. I'm a huge fan. But I like Ted McMillan to the Patriots because he's way bigger. Body control is a lot better. They just need that element of the offense, a big-bodied wide receiver. I think Matthew Golden can play the X, but he's only like 6 foot tall. I love him. Saints are going to run a 2 QB system with Milroe and Hill. Steven, that would be a horrible idea. Who knows if they do that or not, but man, that would be awful. That would be an absolute disaster. A 2 QB system. And Milroe, he's so inaccurate with the football, man. That would just be like, they would never be able to pass the ball. Like their third down completion percentage would be like 10% if they did something like that. I think that would be horribly dumb. All right, the 49ers are on the board at 11 overall. You could go offensive line here, but that defensive line is super ass. So besides Bosa, they have nobody else. John Hargrave, he's gone. The 49ers make a lot of sense there. But they could really use some offensive lineup, but they do have Trent Williams still out there at left tackle, so maybe they opt to go D-line here. I'm going to go Walter Nolan to the 49ers at 11 because I think they could fill some of those other offensive line voids later in the draft, but a talent like Walter Nolan's not going to be there in the second round. It depends how desperate these teams are with quarterback. So I like jumping up late in the first round because it doesn't cost you as much early, but you still get those 5 years of control, right? 5 years of control. So that makes a lot of sense, but it's going to cost you still, man. Maybe the Eagles picking up another second round pick, another third round pick, something like that to drop some spots. That could make some sense. Team like Buffalo, maybe the Vikings, they're looking for picks. They don't have a lot of picks here. So I think one of those teams like the Browns or the Giants could target a team like the Vikings, like Arizona, that don't have a lot of picks to potentially move up in the middle or late first round. But yeah, I agree, Anthony. I'm going to go Matthew Golden to the Cowboys at number 12, right? Drop rate under 7%. For a smaller guy to have that contested catch rate over 60%, that's great. I just like what he does, man. He could do everything all over the yard. He runs great routes. I think he's the best separator in this draft class. 6 foot, 195. Never going to be a jump ball guy too much in the league, especially with safeties getting bigger and bigger. Matthew Golden's really good over the middle of the field, especially with those slants and those back shoulders. Kind of complement each other. I like Matthew Golden to the Cowboys at number 12. I think that makes a lot of sense. Yeah, so Anthony, the Dolphins, I just came out today that they're going to trade or release Jalen Ramsey, right? I think that was what came out in the press today. So they need a cornerback. Their safety room is one of the worst safety rooms in the NFL. The Dolphins secondary is a dumpster fire, right? Straight up, ass cheeks, dumpster fire. It's awful. It's really, really, really bad, right? Like, super bad. So Jody Barron, I think, makes a lot of sense to the Dolphins because he could play nickel, he could play outside corner, and he could play safety, right? That kind of versatility gives the Dolphins some options, right? So what do you think about that, Anthony? Barron makes a lot of sense. Like he went to Texas, playing against some of the best offenses in college football. He's fast, he's athletic. But, you don't determine, you have one guy. So what if something happens to him? What if he gets hurt? Then you're really up shit's creek without a paddle, right? Jody Barron is probably better as a safety at the NFL level, in my opinion. He could play nickel, but he did a really good job outside this year, right? And I think he's fast enough, has the recovery speed to be an outside corner. 5'11", 200 pounds. He's got a track background, natural zone defender, good instincts, right? I don't know. Did the Dolphins? Yeah, Ramsey's going to be gone. Yeah, I'm going to go Johnny Barron here, man. I just think that makes the most sense. It gives the Dolphins some options, right? That's why I like that pick there. Appreciate you guys all tuning into the live stream. All right, now, Colts fans, you're on the board, 14 overall. Shane Steichen was very impressive as an offensive coordinator when he had a really good tight end. Tyler Warren's on the board. It's a no-brainer. You slam dunk this card, and if Tyler Warren's available at 14, right? I do like Colston Loveland too, but he's coming off that shoulder injury, and I think that he's going to like the physicality and optionality that Tyler Warren possesses. Like, he could play in the backfield. You can line him up in line, in the slot, line him up all over. I know Shane Steichen has said he liked Tyler Warren as well. From where? Luffy 420, where? From where? It all depends from where you're coming from, right? So when you're moving up in the middle of the first round, it's probably going to cost you at least a 2, I would assume. Now, Falcons fans, you're on the board. Mike Green's going to the Falcons. That pass rush was so bad. They had like 38 sacks all year last year. Really, really bad. They can't get after the passer. From the Eagles, yeah, I don't know if Roseman's going to want to trade up that far. And honestly, I don't think the Eagles need to trade up that far. They don't really need to. I do love Trey Amos, man. I just think it's a little bit of a reach. Yeah, but Goddard's on a 1-year deal, man, so he doesn't have a lot of value unless it's a sign and trade, So when you trade a guy with a 1-year deal and no guaranteed money, there's not a lot of value. Maybe a second and a third gets it done, but I don't know. That's a lot to give up. And the difference between the guy you're picking at 14 and the guy you're picking at 32, not a huge difference in my opinion. All right, now, Cardinals fans, you're on the board, 16 overall. This is a pick I've really liked for them. Kenneth Grant. The interior part of that defensive line's the weakest part on that defense besides corner. They brought in Josh Sweat to be that outside linebacker in their 3-4 defense. Let's bring in a big monster on that 3-4 defense. I think he can play zero technique. I think he can play one technique. I think he can play all over that 3-4 D line. Kenneth Grant's a beast. I like that. But guys, make sure you do me a huge favor. Hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. We're closing in on 15,000 subscribers. Now, Bengals fans, you're on the board, 17 overall. Bringing in a cornerback definitely could make some sense. I do like Malachi Starks, Donovan Ezeraku. He could be in play for the Bengals as well. The Bengals can go a lot of different places. Malachi Starks makes a lot of sense. The safety position there is a weakness. He could be the general of that defense, high IQ guy. I like Malachi Starks to the Bengals at 17. Now, Seahawks fans, you're up on the board at 18. Where do you go here, man? They could go offensive line. They could go wide receiver. They need center, guard. They could go edge. They could go a lot of different places, the Seahawks. Yeah, I don't really think the Eagles are going to move up. We'll have to see. I would really see them moving up maybe in the second round, earlier in the second round, as opposed to, those first round picks are so valuable. It takes a lot of capital, right? Yeah, the Seahawks fans, but Kelvin Banks, he's a 3-year starter at left tackle, and their tackles aren't bad for Seattle. Seattle needs more interior offensive line, right? They need a guy like Gray Zabel that could play center and both guard positions, and in a pinch, play tackle. That could make some sense for them, They could use another wide receiver too. Emeka Egbuka can make some sense. Josh Simmons, a guy I really like. I'm not sure. The Seahawks are a wild card, man. The Seahawks really could go anywhere. Will Johnson is so good. That could be a really interesting spot for them. I love Will Johnson. Coming off some injuries, but he's a really talented guy. Really talented guy. Luther Burden, he's getting a lot of, bad press. But, he's a dog, man. I think he could be an X wide receiver. I could really see them going a guy like Luther Burden here, man. But offensive line makes some sense. Could you kick Kelvin Banks out to right tackle? Probably. But I'm not sure, man. I think Josh Simmons I like Josh Simmons more than I like Kelvin Banks. So I'm going to go Josh Simmons. I know he's coming off the injury, but if you turn on the tape, he's the best offensive lineman in this draft class. He's great at recovering. He's great mirroring guys. I think that's a steal there. I love Josh Simmons there. I love that. I love that play. Yeah, the injury is, it all depends on the medicals, right? I don't have the doctor's reports, but I'm assuming that the medicals are coming back good because we haven't heard otherwise. And I can't see him slipping out of the first round. Now, Buccaneers fans, I'm going Will Campbell here. He's probably the best cornerback in this draft class. Look at the passer rating against. Even 66, 30, 52. The dude in 2023 was unreal. 30 passer rating against. What did you say about Banks and Campbell again? Anthony, sorry, there's a bunch of... Can you say the comment again? And I'll let you know my thoughts on it. All right, Broncos fans, you're on the board at 20. I mocked this a bunch of times. Omarion Hampton. They need a running back to take some pressure off of Bo Nix in that passing game. Omarion Hampton, he's not on my big board of running backs. It's like a 1A and 1B. He's not far behind Ashton Genty. I'm telling you, Omarion Hampton's really, really good. I like Will Campbell, but he's got short arms. I think he's more of a guard. Kelvin Banks, he's been a left tackle on nothing else. So going to a team like Texans makes the most sense. Kelvin Banks, I don't know. We'll have to see. What is he, 6'4", right? 6'4", 320. He's not the biggest guy in the world, but yeah, I think he can move in the guard. But most people see him as a pure left tackle right now. So I would definitely start Banks out at left tackle and then see where it goes. All right, now, Pittsburgh Steelers fans, you're on the board. Do we go quarterback here? Jackson Dart. Jalen Milroe has been climbing up draft boards. That could be interesting. But you got to remember, the Pittsburgh Steelers don't have a second-round pick. So they're not going to be drafting again till, what? In the 80s? I think that some of these quarterbacks will be gone by then. So Kyle McCord, Jalen Milroe, I don't know. I'm going to go Jackson Dart to the Pittsburgh Steelers at 21. I think he's the best quarterback on the board. I do. Oh no, my thing's freezing. Hold on, guys. Hopefully it'll come through. So I'm going to just go through this. My PFF is freezing live right now as we speak, guys. And it's just not going to work, I guess. But, all right, so then at 22, we have the Chargers up. I think the Chargers are going to go Colston Loveland. Him and Harbaugh have that, responsibility together where they won a national championship, right? That makes a lot of sense. Yeah, I like Colston Loveland too to the Chargers. I don't know why this is freezing. This has never happened to me before, where it's just straight up froze on a live stream. All right, well, that's nothing we can do about that. Now the Packers are up at 23 overall. I think they go Emeka Egbuka here. Or they could go wide receiver. That could make some sense. All right, I got to restart this, guys. And then, yeah, so there's nothing I can do about it now. So we're going to just start this draft. We're going to go down to the Packers at 23 and just look at some of the players that could be available. You know, when I look at the Packers at 23, a guy like Ben Morrison could make some sense, and so did Jaden Higgins. Yeah, unfortunately, guys, the PF mock draft simulator tarted out and froze. So if I'm the Green Bay Packers, I'm going to go Jaden Higgins. He's a true X wide receiver. You could go Trey Amos too if you wanted to go the cornerback route, but they need an X wide receiver so bad. They have a bunch of small, not good wide receivers. I don't know. They're a bunch of number 2s and 3s. I love Jaden Higgins. That could be the pick there, but Trey Amos definitely in play as well. And now we got the Vikings at 24. I think Michael Williams is in play there for the Vikings. He could be really interesting. I like that. You know, I'll probably go, or safety. One of the safeties, like Kevin Winston, could definitely go, you know what? I'm going to go Kevin Winston. He was so good in 2023 before the injury. Yeah, the Vikings are going to go 24 overall. They need really some serious help. So Kevin Winston makes some sense. I think they brought Harrison Smith back for another year, right? But he's so freaking old. So for me, Kevin Winston makes a lot of sense. Or, I know a lot of people are high on Nick Emmanwori, but I think I like Kevin Winston more, to be honest. But one of the safeties, him or Emmanwori, makes some sense. Now, Kelvin Banks is still on the board at 25. So if we look at offensive tackle, clear this out, go to offensive tackles. Will Campbell, Membu, Simmons are all gone. Kelvin Banks. I'm going Kelvin Banks to the Texans at 25. What's up, Donnie? Welcome to the chat, man. So we were doing a mock draft live chat, and then it froze up at pick 23. So I'm just going through the rest of the draft. So I have the Texans taking Kelvin Banks at 25. He's really, really talented. 86 overall grade. Playing the best defensive programs in the country. Ohio State, Texas A&M, really good defenses, right? Georgia. Look at the grades against some of the best teams in the nation. Michigan. I love Kelvin Banks. Now, the Rams are in serious contention, not only for a quarterback. That could be interesting, right? But a corner. I think this is where Harrison or Trey Amos goes. So if you look at we'll take a look at the cornerbacks. Hunter was gone. Oh, why does it always do this? Cornerback, where are you? There you are. Travis Hunter's gone. Barron's gone. Johnson's gone. So Amos, Ben Morrison, and Harrison all in play for the Rams. It depends who they like better. Trey Amos is probably the most physical of the bunch. 6'1", 190. Good size. I do love Ben Morrison, though. That tape from 2023 was so impressive. I think Maxwell Harrison's a little overrated because of the combine time. He played a little bit hurt this year, too. I'm going to go Trey Amos to the Rams at 26. Now, Ravens fans, you're on the board at 27 overall. Take a look at guys that are left. Omar Norman Lott is still left on the board. Jalen Walker. I don't think the Ravens let a guy like Jalen Walker go past them. I think he could be interesting in that defense. James Pierce Jr. is on the board as well. They could use another wide receiver. Abuka could make some sense. Nick Scorton, he could make some sense to the Ravens too because he's big and he's fast and he's physical. Yeah, that could make some sense to the Ravens too. Are you talking about Gray Zabel? Yeah, I mean, they could go Zabel there for sure. But those corners were really, really, really bad last year, right? So, to me, I think the Rams go defensive back. I really do. Yeah, where do the Ravens go? Guys, Ravens can go a bunch of different spots. Yeah, Shamar Stewart can make some sense to the Ravens. Yeah, I'm going to go Shamar Stewart. His size is just 6'6", 290. He's just an athletic freak. Shamar Stewart goes to the Ravens at 27 overall in this mock draft. Yeah, I have Amarion Hampton. He went number 20 to the Broncos, guys. Sorry this got all screwed up in my first ever live mock draft, but PFF Mock Draft Simulator just froze up. So now, Lions are up 28 overall. They need an edge defender, man. You know, if Shamar Stewart's on the board, he could be in play. Landon Jackson could definitely be in play as well. He's big and physical. That's what they kind of look for in their edge defenders in that 4-3 scheme that they're running over there. Landon Jackson could be in play. Yeah, even James Pierce Jr. I think could be in play. Yeah, I'm going to go James Pierce Jr. to the Lions. Add that physicality to that front. Great pick. And now, Washington's on the board here at 29 overall. You know, they need edge help. They could definitely use another cornerback. You know, their defense is not good. So I'm going to go Ben Morrison to the Commanders at 29 overall. I think that's a great fit for them. Their secondary was so trash last year, guys. It was really, really crazy how bad they were. So I'm sorry if you guys are just tuning in right now, but in the middle of this live mock draft, I already did 22 picks, and then the mock draft simulator froze. So I had to restart it all, and I'm just going off my memory of who's left, who's not left. The Commanders just drafted Ben Morrison. He might be my favorite cornerback in this class, man. 22, 29 passer rating against, 60 passer rating against, and even playing hurt, 58 passer rating against. He had 3 interceptions in 2023. They're getting a stud. Getting a stud. Now, Buffalo Bills are up. 30th overall. The Bills probably going to go defense here. Interior defensive line makes the most sense for Buffalo, in my opinion. They could, Graham, Nolan, and Grant are already gone. Derek Harmon's still on the board. Yeah, I'm going Derek Harmon to Buffalo at, what do they pick, 30? Yeah, Derek Harmon to the Buffalo Bills. Really good player. He's not exceptionally great anywhere, but he's really good against the run and against the pass. Good, versatile guy. He can play A gap, B gap, over tackle. Can kind of play all over the D line. I think he makes a lot of sense for Buffalo. Now, Chiefs are on the board. They're going to go offensive line here, guys. They got to go offensive line. They got absolutely destroyed by the Philadelphia Eagles in the Super Bowl. Straight up embarrassed. Will Campbell, Membu, Josh Simmons, Kelvin Banks is off the board. So, for me, the Chiefs have to choose between Gray Zabel and Josh Conerly Jr. Josh Conerly Jr. is more of a left tackle, right? Not a huge guy, 6'4", 315, but he's really athletic. He was like a freaking running back in high school. This dude is exceptionally athletic. He's only 21 years of age, and you can really develop him over time. Gray Zabel is going to be good, but you need tackle help desperately in Kansas City. So I think if this is the way the board played out, I think they're going to go Josh Conerly Jr. at 31 overall. Now, Eagles are up. 32 overall, my Philadelphia Eagles. All right, guys, where do they go? Where do they go at 32 overall? We take a look at the board, and we'll kind of see who's here, who's not here. Will Campbell still available? A guy that I really like that's still available that didn't get drafted is Donovan Ezeraku. The Eagles need edge help, 6'2", 247. Pretty good speed, high IQ guy. And Fangio likes guys with high IQs. Cooper DeJean, Quinyon Mitchell, Zach Bond, high IQ players. So for me, Eagles are taking Donovan Ezeraku. If the board plays out like this, he's still available, right? Yeah, I like Scorton, but he's big for this system. And he's not fast enough. Scorton's at 285, 290 pounds. And in this 3-4 defense, Fangio likes these guys that are really fast. 6'4", 285 is a little big for this scheme, in my opinion. Maybe he goes there, but Maybe they want him to kind of set the edge on the outside, put him on the strong side. That could be interesting, right? But I definitely, if it's between Donovan Ezeraku and Nick Scorton, I think they go Donovan Ezeraku because I think he's just a little more flexible, a little more quick. That's kind of where I'm going here, guys. So that's the mock draft. Unfortunately, I can't show you guys on the screen everything because it got screwed up. But I'm going to be trying to do a little more of these live type of streams. If you like them, let me know in the comments down below. I really like talking to you guys while we do these. It's been a lot of fun just chopping it up, getting everyone's different opinions about different players. And if you have any questions, guys, about what your favorite team is going to do in the draft, let me know down in the comments below. And I'll take a couple questions for a little bit before we wrap things up here on this live mock draft. And guys, on draft day, I'm going to be doing a live stream for the entire draft and a couple hours leading up to it, right? So I appreciate you guys tuning in. I'm going to wrap it up. It doesn't look like there's any questions coming in. So I appreciate you guys hanging out for this live stream, getting ready for the draft. And we'll see you guys next week on Thursday. I'll probably do some the vertical live streams. They're pretty fun too. But I want to start doing the horizontal live streams a little bit more, chopping it up. And then in May, when the schedules are released, I'll do live streams breaking down all the schedules, right? Dylan, they've never drafted a safety once in the first round. It depends. Yeah, I mean, it depends how the board plays out. If a guy like Mason Taylor is available in the second round, they probably draft him. But if I'm the Eagles, I'm in no rush to trade Dallas Goedert. I'm really not. Jalen Hurts likes to rely on him a lot in this offense. I'm not running, guys. I'm not running to trade Dallas Goedert unless you get like a 4th-round pick for him. You know, I would love to get Mason Taylor. You know, that kid Ferguson looks interesting as well too. Tyler Warren, Colson Loveland, Elijah Arroyo. I like Mason Taylor and Ferguson probably better. Harold Fannin Jr., I don't know. He's more of a pass catcher than anything. I don't think he works. But I don't think they trade him. But that's just my opinion. I don't know if the Eagles safety, there's a lot of depth later, like Malachi Moore from Alabama you could get in the 3rd round. I don't think there's going to be a market for Bryce Huff, man. I don't think there's going to be a market. I think the Eagles would be lucky to get a 5th-round pick for him, Dylan, to be completely honest. I just don't think there's anything there for us, guys. I mean, he didn't even get on the field. He didn't even dress for the Super Bowl, right? So, the Eagles don't have a lot of... They should have traded him earlier in the year last year. Fangio was like, this dude's not going to work, right? But now he doesn't have a lot of value. I think it kind of sucks, but it is what it is, guys. But all right, I'm going to sign out, guys. I appreciate you guys so much. It means a lot to me. Thank you guys for tuning in, checking out the live stream. I'm going to try to do some more of these for sure. All right, guys, I'm going to close it out. We'll catch up with you guys shortly. Thank you for tuning in. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Peace.